Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Fahd Dawood. I talk about real estate, Dubai specifically a lot and internationally, your life and my life and our path to financial bliss, regardless of what's happening out there in the market. I want to talk about today about property opportunity evaluation. Okay, so stay tuned. I'm going to run you down loosely all the steps that I generally take to evaluate a particular property or an opportunity for someone, an investor or a client of mine, and perhaps you can learn a few things that you can apply yourself. So stay tuned, we're going to be getting right into that. Now before we do that, hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon. It helps me. I look like a serious YouTuber and my kids love me more for that, and it encourages me to make more videos. Okay, if you want to work one-on-one with me, you can always reach out on WhatsApp. There is a fee involved. If you have general questions, please hit me up again on WhatsApp or in the comment section below. I'll be happy to make a video that would be helping more people. Okay, check this out. I get a lot of people approaching me via WhatsApp, sometimes on questions in the comments, sometimes a question in the comment section. And here's what's happening with them in their life. They started out on their journey to invest in real estate, and that could have been a year ago, 2 years ago, perhaps a couple of months ago. They've saved some money and now they're ready to purchase a house to live in or a property to invest and rent it out, right? They've gone through the entire process and they're right at the end of pulling the trigger. Right at the edge, right? The sales guys got them cornered. Their buying temperature is really high. They're ready to buy. And they come to me and they ask me and they say, "Hey, Fahd, I'm looking at buying this. What do you think should be the price? Is this a good opportunity?" Now, because I've been in real estate for 40 plus years and I went to business school and I am a student of human behavior, right? Psychology, politics. I understand that at this stage, and I've learned by trial and error, at this stage when you're right about ready to buy a property, it is very difficult for me to give you sound advice. I might give you some advice, but it's not going to be very sound. Not because the advice that I'm giving you is not sound, it's because you are not ready as a receptor of sound advice, right? Think about it. You've done all your research as best as you have, and all respect for that, and you've gone through a lot of choices, and somehow at this stage choice fatigue sets in, right? Choice fatigue. You looked at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So many projects, you're just tired and you're like, okay, God, please end this misery for me. This property, because the salesman is slick and he speaks fast and makes promises that his mother or his grandmother can't keep, are so awesome, right? You're ready to pull the trigger and buy this property. Now, at this stage, for me to actually tell you don't, it's gonna break your dreams, shatter your dreams, and you're gonna be like, "Fahd, you don't know what you're talking about." So generally speaking, at this stage, I avoid giving any advice because it's gonna fall on deaf ears. It's not gonna really bring true value to you. Now, am I doing a disservice? Perhaps yes, but I've just been burned so many times that at this stage, any advice I give you doesn't make you feel good. So I would rather wish you the best and say pray for the best and hope for the best, and things will turn out okay, right? Ideally speaking, the perfect time for you to be speaking to an expert, me or anybody else you might know, is at the start, right? You don't go to, for instance, a doctor, then start operating on yourself and then call him and say, what should I do next, right? So ideally you start from the beginning, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to describe the entire process to you, how I take a client when I'm evaluating an opportunity, from the strategy consultation, what are the points that come out from it, from verification of the project in terms of regulatory verification, looking at the developer, doing the due diligence, doing the property evaluation, looking at the market, looking at the actual case studies, and then last but not the least, helping my clients and giving them one-on-one advice at every stage of the process. Okay, so number one, the first thing that I do with a client when they approach me is something called a strategy consultation. In simple words, this is the point where we define the property needs of a client. Okay, this is where we define what it is that they require to live happily with this property ever after. Now that could be excellent returns in terms of cash flow coming to them, or if they're looking to live in that property, perhaps they want it to be close to their children's school, perhaps wife wants an amazing kitchen, perhaps they want a bedroom downstairs for their aging parents, perhaps they want to be close to the mall or away from the mall and in the suburbs. Perhaps quality is very important, perhaps resale is very important. This strategy consultation generally takes me an hour and a half, 2 hours. Very soon I'm going to be releasing templates that you would be able to do this strategy consultation on your own. I'll guide you with the video. You'll be able to do it on your own. Obviously, my experience counts a lot, but even on your own, with me guiding you via video, you'd be able to come up with a 5-point action plan. Now, in that action plan, we would have things, for instance, if you're an investor, maybe rental returns very important, right? And if we decide that rental returns very important, then what you're going to do is any property you look at, you're going to ask the seller of what the current tenant's paying in terms of rent, or if it's not rented, you're going to look easily, and this research is easy, right? You can look at what similar properties in the area pay in terms of rent, so you can see how much cash month on month you will receive. And once we've established that as a criteria, as a benchmark, let's say the 5 points that we established out of the strategy consultation, it becomes very easy for you to then be guided in your decision making, rather than be all over the place and be sold something by a salesman and his mother and his grandmother's silver tongue, right? Okay. Perhaps you've identified that even as an investment or wherever you're going to be living, a good view is super important, right? That's number 2. Perhaps you've identified that the future prospects of the area are important, which means future capital appreciation. Perhaps you want to buy in an area and get a bargain where prices aren't very high today, but you are very concerned about the future. So when you go into an area that is a little less developed, so that you can get a good bargain and lower on the pricing, you're going to look at the kind of infrastructure that's coming in. You're going to look at the master developer who's developing the entire area and their background. And obviously, if you're investing in Dubai, then you already know that Dubai as a city is very well master planned, right? Well, this is not a city in I don't know, I don't want to put down any continent, but you know, we know good countries where things are planned and implemented for ease of the population and their movement in terms of infrastructure. And we know cities and countries where planning, even if it's done, is not properly implemented. So in Dubai, you already know that Dubai is not going to keep any area as an orphan, right? So the buses are going to get there, the metro at some stage is going to get there, the road network is going to expand and get there, the bus stops are going to come there, etc, etc, etc. But then if you're investing in Dubai, you would look at what the master developer, so in the master developer in Dubai, there's Imar, Nakhil, etc, etc. What is their background on building a community, right? Some of them are right up there, some of them not so much, right? So this comes out of the strategy consultation. You come up with a 5 or 7 point action plan, so that when you go to the market, you're not lost. You're not getting pulled in every single direction. You have certain guidance, right? Perhaps one of the things you defined was, I am only going to buy from a developer that has at least delivered 10 buildings in Dubai, so I can look at their track record, okay? Number 2, you look at verification. Any project that you're looking at investing in Dubai there's hundreds and hundreds of developers. Any city you go to, there's hundreds of developers, right? You look at their track record, right? Ideally, you don't want to be, before I get to the track record, you want to verify that this developer is a bona fide developer, the land is in their name, the banking is in order, they've been audited by the regulatory authority of the city or the country. Now in Dubai, there's RERA, Real Estate Regulatory Agency, and you can easily go to verify on RERA's website to see if a project's been registered duly and if they're allowed and given permission to start marketing, right? This is very simple. This is something that I would do for any of my investors. Then I would look at developers and their reputation, right? So, and again, this is applicable to any city. Like I can get up today, bless me, and I could go to any city in the world and invest, right? For instance, if I was about to buy from a developer, simple question I would ask the developer or the agents representing the developer: how many other projects have you delivered? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 10, 20. Can I visit them? Sure. Or you can't. Or are old projects still incomplete? You know, these are red flags that I would rather stay away from. So when you look at the developer, you look at their track record, just stuff that they've done. The fourth step is due diligence, and again, due diligence is pretty much the same thing, right? You look at the developer, their track record, their credibility for delivering on time, the quality they've delivered. You go and speak to people who are living in their buildings, you go and speak to tenants who are living in the buildings, you speak to a few agents, not 1, 2, 3, like 4 or 5, and ask them. Like for instance, right now in Dubai, there's one developer, I don't want to name them, they've got maybe 10, 15 buildings, but right now they're going through a financial crunch, okay? And they're offering in the market great payment plans, rental guarantees, etc., etc. But me being in this market, if anybody approached me for generic advice, specific, sorry, not generic, specific advice, right? I would help them out. I would tell them, right? If a client was paying me to do this work for them, I would tell them, look, this developer has some problems going on with this. They've got these projects which are on hold. We're entering in a volatile period. I would recommend stay away from this developer. Now, you can do this on your own if you've got the background in real estate. But again, you would need to speak to a few agents, especially those who are experts in their field. Number 5. You do an actual property evaluation. Let's say you've narrowed down on the area, your requirements are being met, and there's one particular property that you're looking to purchase, okay? Again, every property comes with its own pros and cons, and I'll give you some examples. If you're looking at property and it was in your mindset that you wanted to buy a high level or a mid-level apartment, for instance, okay? But now you will look at if I would look at the building and I said, like, there's 5 podiums, 5 parking podiums, and your apartment's on the 15th floor. I'm going to tell you, look, technically you're 5 plus 15, you're on the 20th floor. Do you really want to go that high? Or can you just buy an apartment on the 10th floor or the 11th floor, which a 10 plus 5 is 15, right? Boom, you save some money and it's good. Perhaps you're buying a 1-bedroom apartment with only 1 bathroom. In Dubai, that's not the norm. In some European countries, I believe it is okay. In the UK, it's okay to buy an apartment with 1 full bathroom, so your guests, yourself, everybody's using. In Dubai, it's not. If you've got a 1-bedroom apartment, you generally get a 1.5 bath, which is 1 full bathroom and a half powder room, so to speak. This is like a no-no that you just don't buy in Dubai, because you're gonna have problem reselling it, right? So then at this stage, you actually look at the property, right? If it's a townhouse that you're buying, you got to make sure you're buying it away from the telephone lines, from the electricity cables, from sewage systems. It shouldn't be too close to the school in the community. It shouldn't be too close to the exit. It shouldn't be too far from the exit, depending on what you're looking for, right? Because sometimes in communities, it might take you 10 minutes to just exit, and sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you do want that. You know, you want to have peace and quiet away from the exit. Is your property close to the pool, the park, etc., etc.? Number 6, you look at the market in general, okay? In Dubai, we're getting into an oversupply situation, specifically with apartments, which is great because Dubai kind of does this. It builds and then people come and they absorb the supply. So we'll be okay. At some stage, we will balance out. So if you're an investor, you would look at, hey, there's a lot of apartments coming out. Maybe I want to look at townhouses in the same price range, right? So you kind of try to assess where the market is going. There's a ton of millennials who are entering the global world population. There's about 1.8 or 1.6 billion millennials. These are people who are in the born between 1981 to 1996. This is a huge demand population that's coming in the next, it's already there. What kind of properties will millennials want, right? Do they want villas, apartments, or do they want smaller apartments that are centered around a lot of recreational activities, whether in the building or around the place? Maybe this is where you would like to focus in terms of looking at where the future demand will be. Last but not the least, reach out to an expert, myself or any of your friends, some expert who knows the market. Ask him for some case studies on the kind of investment you're looking to make, right? So if you're looking to make an investment in a villa or a townhouse or an apartment where you want to live, speak to them and ask them, okay, tell me about a specific person who actually invested in this property and how did it go for them, right? So for instance, in Dubai, if you're buying in an established community like Arabian Ranches, right? Arabian Ranches has been there for about 15 years now. I would look at how people invested in those areas, what has been their experience, are they still selling, are they still holding, are they buying, do they love the community, etc., etc. And it's very easy to go and look for those case studies, especially if you're dealing with an expert. Last but not the least, obviously, you can sign up with somebody like me for one-on-one advice. My services are available at a fee. If you have general questions, always can reach me by WhatsApp or YouTube in the comment section. I will answer them so everybody can benefit. If you want to work one-on-one, there's a fee involved. Just reach out to me. I'll let you know how we work. Okay, so just a quick recap on how to evaluate a specific opportunity. Look, do a consultation for yourself. Evaluate and identify your 5 or 6 absolute needs that your property must have. Okay, verify the project and the developer. Do some due diligence on the developer. Run through the property and understand, is it a good property to be investing in? Look at the market and where it's headed. Good investors don't invest according to how the market's behaving today. They invest on how the market's going to be behaving in the next 2, 5, 10, 20 years, right? Look for case studies so that you have a generic view on where you will be going with this property. Last but not the least, reach out to an expert. I'll help you out. Ciao for now. If you have questions, again, you can reach me on WhatsApp or in the comment section. Press the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.